Hey everyone, welcome to the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I am the Clydesdale and I am the host. And we love to do fitness, and these are my friends, the multi-state broadcast of the podcast.
There you go.
We are.
I am holed up in Pennsylvania at a friend's house, and we have Kat in Delaware and Amy in the hometown of Columbus.
OHIO.
So it is our 75th episode.
Woo!
Very cool.
Can you believe it?
It hasn't even been a year.
No,
I know.
75 episodes.
we are cranking these things out.
You know what I have to say? This requires a celebration.
Oh, look at you. I didn't realize. Darn it.
I'm fully unprepared.
Yeah.
Well, Scott Radowski is celebrating for you guys.
There you go. Thanks, Scott.
So with it being our 75th, it seems like just yesterday we did 50.
For real. It does.
So one quick memory of the first 75. Amy, you go first.
Oh, I mean, one quick memory.
I can answer for Amy.
I mean, Con Porter. There we go. That was my pie in the sky, and it happened thanks to Kat. It happened early on. I mean, I'm golden.
Kat, what you got?
Well, I'm happy to say that it seems like everyone that we record just seems to get better and better. I've had so many favorites, and every week I feel like I change my mind on what the favorites were, but I got to go with my boy Armin. I hope there's more.
You do love his brain.
I do. And if we ever get Chandler Smith on here, he'll be my next favorite.
Tag
I just keep putting it out there. You know, it's on my vision board.
Mine,
What's yours?
but for me, probably Kelly Baker.
Kelly Baker. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
It was just a big surprise. She just was full of so much information and was so vibrant and alive. And I just love her. I want to just have beers with her all the time.
Guinness, right?
Guinness.
I want to talk teacher stuff.
Yeah.
So I am trying to remember what's next on this. Oh, huge shout out to our sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scott, you said you have a story about that.
And we're legit now with a real live sponsor who's super supportive and always there for us. So RX Smart Gear. Yeah, my best friend, Sprinkles, used our discount code Clydesdale15, all caps, to get 15% off a replacement cable for his jump rope. And he took Dave Newman's advice to heart that you should train with a heavier rope. So he got the beginner rope, which is the thickest of the traditional cables that RX has. And he started working out with that. And Amy and I can attest that it is working him very hard. And he has to take a lot of rest now afterwards because his calves and wrists and shoulders are getting a lot more work with the thicker cable than he was getting before with the lighter weight cable. So if you want to get a better workout and you want to try something different than that traditional speed cable, use our discount code Clydesdale15, all caps. Go to rxsmartgear.com and order that cable up and put yourself to work a little bit. And just to know that discount works for everything except for special editions and new releases.
And on that same note, as a coach, this week we did a workout that required 300 double unders. And I was working with an athlete who is super, super fit. He is an older athlete. He's, I think he's 53. But I mean, this is the kind of guy who is so cardio fit that he is doing, the workout's over and he's doing another round just because it wasn't enough for him. And his Schweitzer, I know you know who I'm talking about. So he struggles though with his timing of his double unders. And so as a coach, him and I were going over it and I was watching him, giving him feedback. And yeah, his timing was not matching up, where he was hitting at the front of his feet and catching and tripping on the double unders. And so him and I had a conversation about, hey, let's talk about getting you a thicker cable on that, so that will kind of help with your timing and slowing down part of that cadence with that. And so, talk to him about, hey, Clydesdale 15, get that 15% discount. And so he was super excited about that. And then I had another athlete who I was like, whoa, what are those grips? I've never seen those grips before. And she was like, they're RX Smart Gear. And I was like, please tell me you used our code.
You need those.
And I do need those. But I was like, please tell me you used our code. And she's like, I did. I texted Scott to tell him. So that was pretty exciting from that aspect as a coach. So
I love it.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well, since we've done that, let's check in with everybody. How's everyone doing? Kat, how are you?
I'm good. Busy. No complaints. No kid drama. Status quo this week.
No crazy stories?
Oh no, I wish I did. Nothing really is going on. No drama. That's good for me. No news is good news.
All right, Amy, what's up with you?
Well, we had senior photo session last night for the Schmoopy boy. So that was really fun to get to go and watch that. Football, we have a bye week. So they're getting ready for the playoffs. They got their regular season done and with 6 games. But like I said, every Friday night that we get, I'm just thrilled.
Does that mean, Amy, if they got a bye, does that mean they're like seated a little higher than?
A little bit, but everybody in Ohio gets an opportunity to go to the playoffs, like
Okay.
Versus which is not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
So that's yes. So I mean, we do have a higher seed. On a personal note, I just had a big PR tonight in a workout. The workout was Nancy.
Nice.
And I never thought I could beat my lifetime PR. My lifetime PR was 14:12. Tonight, I did 13:09.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Very cool.
Overhead squat.
Wow.
So,
do you think nutrition has played a part in that?
Huge part of that. And what was funny is, okay, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes as a coach, I'm not as great when I'm an athlete at warming up. Just being honest. And so my first round I was like, oh, this is not going to be a good one, because I just don't think I was warmed up, And so I was like, my legs feel heavy. This is not going to be a good workout. And then that first round, I think I warmed up enough that I was ready to go. So
that's awesome.
What you're saying is you have another minute PR in you.
Oh gosh,
that would be cool.
I don't know. I mean, with my lifetime PR before, I was in really good running shape. That was like 2 years ago, and I'm not as in great running shape as I was then, but I love overhead squats as my favorite squatting movement. So
that does remind me, I did have one workout yesterday. I programmed five rounds of a 400-meter run and 12 clean and jerks.
Ooh.
So Nancy-esque, right? Yeah. But without the overhead squats and, different reps, whatever. But I didn't have a time. I did it with a friend of mine, and we didn't set a time or anything. But I will tell you that every single one of those 400-meter runs did not kill me. So I'm slowly but surely, and I didn't wake up the next morning and, couldn't walk on my feet, which is normally what happens after I run. So my feet get so sore that I can't run. Or I can't walk. So things are happening in the running department over here. I'm not sure how or why, but I'm going with it.
What weight for a clean and jerk?
Oh, it's like 65 pounds. I mean, I was just cycling through them real fast, unbroken all 5 rounds, but it was a fun little workout.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So nothing this week happened for me workout wise, except for emotionally. So the reason I'm in Pennsylvania is things have kind of turned for the worse for my father. So we're kind of here saying our goodbyes, and they've taken him off all machines, and we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. But with a heavy heart, I wanted to continue doing the podcast, and we have family members at the hospital right now, and we're kind of doing a rotation thing just to make sure he's not alone and doing that thing. So that's really taken up all of my week.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
with that-
And we're sending you love from all over. So
I'm glad you can all be there together and with him.
Yeah. So let's move on to some news around the CrossFit world.
Yeah. Like a
could we
flash.
talk about Jessica Griffith coming
Like
back?
a flash, all of a sudden back. That's what it
Yeah,
felt like to me.
So 3 months ago, there was the incident where she used the N-word in some texting things with a group text, and there was major fallout from that. And with that, I think she tried to defend herself, and because of that, Instagram banned her from Instagram, and she could not get back on. So now 3 months later, apparently they have lifted that suspension or ban, and she made a public statement for the first time right after we got off the air last week. So I think it was like Thursday, and apologized for what she had done.
All right.
And was trying to move forward with doing her traditional posts, but said she needed to do this first because it's what was right. So I just wanted to get your thoughts. Did you guys see the apology?
I did.
Your thoughts on it?
I guess at first, my first response was, or my first reaction was, oh, okay. She's back on and she apologized and she took responsibility, but I don't know. I guess I was just kind of lukewarm. But now that I really think about it, I feel like there's no position where she can really win on this. I feel like no matter what she says or what she can do, it's not going to be good enough for somebody. And so for that, for when I look at it from that kind of lens, then I can think that I have a little bit more compassion for her and know that she did make a mistake. And she says that. She said that she made a mistake. So I'm trying to offer her the, looking for a positive intent. And so I'm assuming positive intent on her part for that.
Kat?
I agree. Same thing. Like when I saw the apology, I was like, well, of course she apologized. Like you couldn't not apologize, right? I mean, and go on. There was a tone in her apology that talked about, I can't wait to show you guys what I've been working on. And that kind of felt like, oh, can it just be about the apology and not about, self-promotion and things like that. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I do agree with what you say, Amy, in terms of at this point in time, it's not important whether I forgive her or not. She didn't do anything to me. Right. And I think it's just her actions moving forward will help to shape who she is in the public eye. And, people will consume that and make their judgments. Super curious to know, how the people that she harmed feel about it. But again, don't know that's any of my business. And do I really need to know? Like, who am I to say?
I think that brings up a really interesting point that I was thinking. So this has all become very public, but because she is a public personality, but this event was very private.
Super private. Yeah. And personal.
Mm-hmm.
And, I looked at sort of some of the comments and I saw, some of the other famous CrossFit people that have, said, welcome back and, do your thing. And this is great and whatever. So it's easy to sort of see alliances, among people because you don't really know like who's friends and who isn't. But, I assume that she lost some sponsorship opportunities and things like that. So, I guess just more to come and we'll see. How about you, Scott? What did you think? I know we talked about it a little bit.
So my initial reaction was very similar to yours. The more I think about it, I'm kind kind of with Amy, right? She wasn't going to win, no matter what she said. But Amy's right. No matter what she did, we were going to pick it apart. And what I do appreciate is it did seem unscripted. Like she was just talking off the cuff. And maybe that's why it wasn't as polished as I said it should be initially. But with that, maybe it's more genuine.
Yeah.
Because she was just rolling from the cuff. But yeah. And again, like Amy said too, actions speak louder than words. And so we're going to know how genuine it is based on her actions moving forward. And so I guess that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Kat's the one that said that, but yes.
Okay. Yeah.
We all agree.
I'm a little mentally drained this week. I'm just
Right.
trying to hang in there.
So how about Kelsey and Colleen be
Yeah,
pushing
so
those sleds?
So we talked about them getting on the U.S. bobsled team tryouts last week, but this week they're out of quarantine, and they've actually posted some videos of them pushing the training sleds, which was, I thought, really cool. I'm really excited about this story. For some reason, watching them develop through this process has caught my eye. And man, I hope someday we get to talk to them about how they were pulled into this, how this all went down. But yeah, I just love watching the Instagram and YouTube updates of them going through this process. Have you guys caught any of that?
It's a Clydesdale sport, those people that are, pushing those sleds, like they are powerful. I think that's part of the reason why I know I enjoy it, because it's not about, doesn't have anything to do with like what your body looks like, or it's like sheer power. And it's awesome to see. And I hope we can talk to them too.
Well,
And one of the go ahead, Amy.
No, you go.
Well, one of the questions I had in my mind was, were they going to push from the side, or were they going to be behind the sled pushing? Because as powerful as those athletes are, I pictured them behind. And so I think I got that answer looking at their training videos.
Yeah, that would be like a
Cool.
2-person. Is it a 2-person bobsled or?
There's 2 and 4.
Right. I mean, the one where you're pushing from behind though is the 2-person, right? Because you got one person already in there, or they both?
Both have one person in the back. So the 2 has the driver on the side and the brakeman in the back. The 4 has 3 people on the side and the brakeman on the back.
Got it. Okay.
Well, the thing that I'm fascinated about with this story is that, we talk about anybody who has taken L1 or who is really committed as far as knowing the CrossFit philosophy is knowing that the top of the pyramid is play and learn new sports. And so here's a prime example of these athletes saying, hey, I've got all this training and all this background, play and learn new sports.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, Colleen made one comment that the hardest part for her is you have to continue the forward momentum as you're getting in the sled. Like your natural reaction is to kind of pull back on the sled to pull you in, but you need to keep moving forward so that it doesn't lose any of the momentum you've created.
Yeah, that's like the opposite of a barbell when you're pulling yourself underneath, it's like, yeah, that's
right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, cool. So what do we got next on the agenda?
So you want to talk about testing? I don't know what this refers to, but.
So testing is that
the CrossFit workout.
Oh, the testing of the workouts. Testing of the workouts at the ranch with our friends.
Yeah. So 2 real friends of the show,
real friends,
Christy Ermo and Saxon Panchek, were in Aromas over the weekend, testing, workout after workout after workout. It looked brutal, and they were saying as much. Being asked on Dave Castro's Instagram after each workout, how was that? And every time it was more and more brutal.
But Christy always has a smile on her face. I mean, seriously, I don't think I've ever seen her not have a smile on her face.
But how about Christy? She goes from stage 1 of the Open to the HOA competition. The games. Stage 1 of the games. Then she goes to the HOA competition. and competes there. The following weekend,
Did
was it
you talk about Rogue? Because she also did Rogue.
Oh, I'm just
but
talking
we're
about 3
in a
weekends in a
3-week
row.
Oh,
period.
3 weekends. Okay, sorry.
Right. So she's given her all in the CrossFit games, and then she goes and does this HOA competition, team of 4, and then the following weekend she's testing games workouts. Like, holy crapola, she's conditioned.
It
For
kind
real.
of fit.
Yeah,
she's kind of a big deal.
for real big deal.
Yeah, so we're hoping. We have a tentative agreement to talk to Christy after the games, so we're really excited since she has tested these workouts. She'll be able to give us a real like behind the scenes of how that went. So I'm super excited about that. But it does look brutal, and it looks like we're going to be in for a lot of fun next weekend.
So
next weekend already. I can't wait.
know.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm curious, what events are you guys excited to see at the games?
Scott, you go. I have to think about this.
So I had it on my notes on my phone, so I'm going to try to do this by memory.
Okay.
But I want to see one from the 2007 games.
Ooh.
And really it narrows it down to one because 2 have kind of been done a few times. CrossFit Total was event 3 at the 2007 games, and event 2 was the trail run. We've seen both of those come back in some way. I think a new version of event 1, which was 1,000-meter row into 5 rounds of 25 pull-ups and 7 push jerks at 135.95. I think you could change that to chest to bar, and you could up the weight, or bar muscle-ups. And 125 bar muscle-ups would be brutal, but that's the games.
Yep.
And then you can up the level on that push jerk a little bit. It's only 7. Make it a little bit heavier, and back to that. But I think it's the first event of any CrossFit games ever. You're going back to the ranch. That would be a cool one.
Yeah, and we know Dave is super nostalgic when it comes to that kind of stuff, so that would be cool.
I think as it is, it might be a little too light for them.
Way too light.
They'll finish that real fast.
Like be the warm up.
I'm thinking 155 for females, 185 for males.
155 would be what, 225,
225
right?
for guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That would be cool.
It's nothing for them.
So they showed a picture of like a wooden rig with 5 sort of sections in it in the outside. And someone was saying something like, well, they're obviously doing rope climbs. Because it wasn't a traditional ring where you could do pull-ups. It was just like, a big wooden dowel going across. So they're either hanging rings or ropes from that.
I want to see some kind of trail
So
run. It has to be. There has to be a trail run there. I want it to be something, when I think of, or when I picture the ranch, I picture a big trail run. And then I picture people coming down, getting on the GHD, doing GHD sit-ups and with a med ball, I want to see some trail runs for sure.
I still think there's going to be a pig hunt.
All right.
You're going to have to, he's going to ammo everybody up. He's going to outfit them with rifles, and you have to come back with something.
So I'm going to pin you down, Kat. I'm going to pin you down, Kat.
Okay.
Because I asked, what would you like to see, not what you think you'll see.
I would like to see a pig hunt.
Fair enough. That's what you
I've
like.
been following
Okay.
I've been following TDC hunts on Instagram, and he's been doing a lot of like whatever it's called where you set up the gun on like a stump and you're like sniper shooting and things like that. You never know. I mean, they had it at Rogue.
They did.
This is going to be like nothing else we've ever seen. I'm telling you. He might just leave him out there for a few days. Be like, don't come back. Until you've caught something.
Here's what I think. I think it is a version of the Hunger Games. I think all the athletes who did the online games are going to show up there. They're all going to be on the cornucopia, and then it's going to be 3, 2, 1, go, and everybody scatters. And then the 5 athletes that are left, got to get them. They got to take out these other athletes. I think that's what's going to be the Hunger Games.
I love it.
Scott, do you even know any of the references I'm giving? Okay, this is
Every one of them.
you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I'm just making sure.
Yeah. The bees, the poison bees.
What are they called? Cracker Jackers or?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
But,
Okay.
but it's going to be the murder hornets. I mean,
Right. Of 2020.
Hurricane will come through one day.
Perfect. I love it. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see it. And I cannot wait for like all the group chat conversations that we're going to have throughout the weekend. It's going to be, I mean, we should just be on Zoom the whole time. I think. Record. That would be
Sounds good.
fun. All right. So
All
we're
right,
moving
what
on.
do we got next?
So who do we think has the best chance of the four females and four males that are not Matt Fraser and Tia Claire Toomey? Who do we think has the best chance of dethroning either one of them?
all right,
Scott?
Amy, you want to go first?
Oh, Amy.
I'll go. You might this might surprise you. Because I'm actually growing on somebody right now. I think the closest person on the men's side is going to be Noah Olsen. I can't see any other potential. And I think Noah has been extremely close to Fraser before. He is a very consistent athlete. He has consistently performed at the games, especially compared to the other three that are there. I don't feel that there is a female in here that can beat Tia. I think I think there's too many holes with the four athletes of the females comparatively. I think Kristen Holte is like super awesome, and I could see her holding in high at second, but I can't see her with the big weights and things like that I think Tia can do. So,
well, that's good because Kristen Holt is not going to the games, right? She didn't make it.
I thought
No.
she was number 5. Okay, my
Carrie
bad.
Pierce.
Carrie Pierce.
Okay, I must have been looking at an old one. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
She's not gonna beat her
Well,
either.
Same evaluation.
Okay,
Yes.
so yes, it is still the same evaluation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as much as I hate to say this, I think the only person that has a shot, and she would have to be completely on her game, is Katrin. But I don't think she is on her game. But if she was, if the stars aligned, I think she's got the capacity. And Tia would have to have a really bad weekend. You know, she'd maybe have to be coming down with the flu or having a stomach bug or get injured. You know, so my money's on Tia, but outside
so I'm going to
chance.
jump on that. I'm going to jump on that because that's the same pick I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to expand just a little bit on that.
Sure.
At the games, there's only 5 athletes, and the point difference between first and second is huge. And the only reason I say Katrin is the only person has a chance. She's the only one that can beat Tia in events.
Right. And she comes up big sometimes.
So she's she's the only one that's going to get the wins against her to have that big point differential. But you're right. Tia's going to have a bad weekend, and Katrin's going to have a phenomenal weekend.
Yeah, the weekend of her life. Yep.
The rest of them have too many holes.
Yeah, and I think for Tia, that goes for sort of anybody that is going to come close to her. Like she would have to have, you know, a disastrous weekend, and then maybe someone could, you know, slip in there. I can't wait.
I don't know if you saw Armin's. Point conversion. If you took the stage 1 and used the stage 2 point system, Katrin actually jumps up significantly because of the first place finishes.
Yeah, the point system kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
I hate when it comes down to math like that and that you can, you know, reshuffle and get like a different outcome. That bugs me.
She doesn't beat Tia. She doesn't even beat Brooke, but she jumps up considerably. She beats Haley, and she gets really close to Brooke.
Mm-hmm. I'm super excited to see Haley compete at this level. I think she's going to do great. I think a lot of the events are going to favor her engine, and it's going to be really fun to see her develop over the weekend and to test her mental fortitude if it's going to be as daunting as Dave says it is.
So who do you have on the men?
I'm going to go Jeff Adler. I'm as convinced, as I am with the Tia thing, that Matt would have to have a bad weekend. But I think Jeff Adler's kind of underrated. And he's super strong and he's got a great engine. So I think he checks all the boxes. He's not, he doesn't seem to be lacking in anything other than experience in live competition. And just because he doesn't have the experience doesn't mean that he's proven to not be able to handle that type of situation. I think we all assume that because he lacks the experience, but we don't know. It's untested.
So my pick is Justin Medeiros.
Okay.
I think at 21, he's just so young. He doesn't know any better.
That dude is 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks old.
When you
The
hear him
mullet-
speak, he sounds young.
Okay. Well, the
You've
mullet.
heard him talk.
The sides came in third.
Say that again. You were breaking
Men
up,
and women,
Scott.
Haley and so the youngest athlete on both sides, both came in third.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Haley and Justin.
So
Super
you
cool.
guys don't have any confidence in Noah?
I think-
No, it's not a lack of confidence. I just, I'm trying to be a little contrarian too, just because I don't want to just say Noah, cause you did. And he was close last year. I'm just kind of putting it out there that maybe, this Adler kid's got something going on.
Well, I think Scott can attest that is a change of tune for me to say.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's like,
None
it's
of
like
us-
me rooting for me saying Katrin too.
Katrin was big for me, and I'm not a big Noah fan either. I mean, sure, he's consistent, and he'll be consistently up there. I just don't think he can beat Matt in enough events. If you look back at Noah's record, he didn't have a lot of event wins in his career.
Right. I mean, he had his first one just last year at the games, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to stick to it. It's my gut. I'm sticking to my gut.
Just trying to use stats and math.
Okay. All right. I'll use intuition and you can use science.
I love it. All right, guys. So moving on, we're going to go to our questions of the week. So they're somewhat related. First one is going to be, what is your proudest athletic achievement? It can be lifetime. Scott, you go.
So it would have to be in my swimming career. And it's a continuation. It's two events over the same year. And I made Pennsylvania State Championships, finished fourth in the 200 freestyle. And I moved on to the U.S. Nationals to be able to compete at the U.S. national level. I was out of my league at that point, but at least I got to go. And I got to hang out there. I was Bethany, as she said in her first games appearance, just happy to be there and get the swag.
That's awesome. And a very cool accomplishment to make it that far. That's awesome. All right, I'll go. Mine's, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's all I have.
Okay.
All right, you go.
So
Kat.
mine is CrossFit related. And it was the fact that in 2018, I got 384th in the open in the world in my age group. And I think that year I got second in the state of Delaware, but that is my greatest accomplishment. I had some other minor ones, growing up, but that was the one that is most meaningful to me. I feel like I worked the hardest for it. So yeah. And I, started in 2015 at 9,000th in the world or something. You just kind of slowly got better and better. And then, I peaked and then I started my own business and here I am just, trying to hit top 1,000. We'll see. How about you, Aim?
Mine is, well, same thing, but that, sorry, it's kind of related. So I have running a marathon. Number one, like it is like, I can't believe I was actually able to do that. But then, so I ran my first marathon, and then I really had a goal to run under a 4-hour marathon, and it took me 3 tries. And so I said, once I got under 4 hours, I would retire from running full marathons. And I have running full. So I got 3 hours and 57 minutes and 57 seconds, and haven't run a full one since, but that's my biggest accomplishment.
That's awesome. And what year was that?
Oh gosh, I want to say 2016, maybe.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There's no way. I think I've run 6 miles at most in my entire life. So,
When I look
and
back at that every time, I'm like, how, if I run like 1 mile at that pace, I'm like, how did I sustain this?
that's
How
crazy.
did that
It's
happen?
awesome though. Very cool. I couldn't do it. Okay. So switching gears. What athletic performance type thing would people be very surprised to know that you are terrible at or that you suck at? So here we are, we're all athletes. We have all these great athletic accomplishments. And now we're going to sort of talk about our kryptonite. We'll start with you, Aim.
All right, I'm going to pull a Schweitzer, and I'm going to give you 2.
Love it. Okay, let's have it.
Number 1 is double unders. I mean, I'm much better at them than I ever used to be, but for having an engine, for having, I don't know. It's a struggle for me. Like, I feel like I hold my breath, and then I'm dying, and then I'm spinning circles. So like double unders, I don't know why it sucks for me, but it does. And then number 2 is, I have had anybody who has seen me attempt to do ring muscle ups, including all of my coaches, have said, I don't understand. I don't know how to help you. You literally have all of the parts. You have the strength, you've got the kip, you can do a dip, you can transition, but you can't do them all together. And so they're like, I can't help you anymore. So those are mine.
Those aren't too bad. How about you, Scott?
Well, I have 3.
Way to one up me. Way to one up me.
That's great.
So this was really hard for me because I'm like an okay athlete, and I'm okay at a lot of things. And never really great at anything for a sustained amount of time. But I would say that I tried wrestling once. I got pinned in 11 seconds. And for a guy that's like really strong, that would probably be surprising. And so I've tried wrestling a couple times. Every time has been an utter failure.
That is surprising. So that's a good one. That's a valid answer.
And when I was in high school, I could jump and grab the basketball hoop, but I suck at any kind of jumping event, like high jump, long jump, triple jump, all that. And box jumps are just, I hate them. And then my final thing is, I've always said I threw in track. I threw javelin and discus. I attempted to throw shot put. And for a Clydesdale, you think that's like natural. I was horrible at shot put. Like,
why do you think that is?
They're throwing 50 feet and I'm throwing 25. Awful. It's all technique. I know it is. I never could, it's like Amy's muscle up. You know, you got to put put there, you've got to skip, you've got to turn, throw the hips, all that together. I just could never get it to work.
Interesting. Okay. Those were good 3. So for me, you know, grew up as a tomboy, played all the sports, and you know, my daughter plays softball. My husband was a pitcher. My son is going to play D1 college, and he's going to be a pitcher. I cannot throw a baseball to save my life. And when I say that is, I have plenty of power behind it, and the ball goes very far, inexplicably it goes in the complete opposite direction that I'm trying to throw it in. Or it will slam on the ground like before it gets 2 feet in front of me. I don't know how to release it. I don't know how to push it. I don't know how to roll it off. My family has tried really hard to explain it to me. I don't care that enough about it to really work on it, but it's really embarrassing that I cannot throw. And like when foul balls come outside, I'm a baseball mom and I have to like throw them back. I will literally like lawn bowl them underhand because no one wants to see me throw overhand. It's so embarrassing. Terrible. Terrible. Anyway, that's it. So you guys can tell us yours. I think that was fun to just sort of put it out there, things you'd be surprised to know about us. So let's talk about next week's guest. Scott, you want to give us a preview?
Sam.
Well, Amy just did.
Sam.
But who's
Sam
Sam?
Cornier.
Yeah.
Samuel Cornier. So he was the 10th place finisher at phase 1 of the CrossFit Games. And he is a very young athlete. Interesting story on how he was coming up to be a professional hockey player. And a traumatic event happened in his life to flip him into CrossFit. And before he found CrossFit, he hated working out. He loved practicing on the ice as a hockey player, but hated the conditioning and the workout part. And now he's the 10th fittest man in the world.
Yeah, it's a great
And so
conversation.
it's really interesting.
And I think people probably saw him in the behind the scenes with Haley Adams because he ended up doing those workouts at the barn with Haley. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. Coming up Monday, 11 Eastern. So tune in for that.
And if you remember back 2 episodes or 4 episodes, so many episodes, Joe Cotter, his judge, was on our show talking about that experience. So if you listen to that one into the Sam one, you'll get a complete picture of kind of the judge and athlete and how that all worked together.
Yeah, we're happy to have him on. Awesome. Okay. So that brings us to best thing on the internet. I'm going to go first.
Go.
So TikTok, of course. And it's dog related. So the account is at M55. It's M, the word 5, and then the number 5. This couple, I'm not sure where they live, but they have like adopted this wild dog that has been roaming around their yard for months and months. His name is Scooby. Yes. He's got, his ears are literally like pinned like this together. They're not sewn together. This is how they are, right? The whole time. And he's super skittish, and I've been following them for the last week or 2. And Scooby now comes into the house, and all these people are sending Scooby toys from Amazon and bones. And they have an older dog, like a 10 or 11-year-old dog, that's sort of like helping this Scooby dog become a real dog. They finally got a collar on him, and it's just I love every time it pops up on my feed. I'm like, oh, what's Scooby doing now? He's adorable, and dogs are just the greatest. So that's my favorite thing for the internet this week. Scott, what do you got? Scott.
So mine is more like things. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So mine is more like things that make you go, And it is the Train with Rich video that CrossFit Mayhem put out on YouTube. And Kat is squinting like she can't hear me.
No, I can hear you. I'm intrigued. This is my intrigued look.
Okay. So what they did is they filmed the whole weekend of what would happen at a Train with Rich. And what it made me, I don't want to spend $1,000 to have Rich beat the crap out of me for three days.
It's intimidating.
The workouts are brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why people do that to themselves, but yeah, but it's a good video. It's really cool how he interacts with the crowd, but yeah, it makes me like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting too that people actually do think that are intimidated by it and don't do it because of that. Because that would be a shame if that were the case. It's kind of like people who are afraid to go to their level one because they don't think, they heard there's a workout and they don't think they can do it or something like that. So hopefully maybe they'll show some more of, regular old people like us going there for the weekend and doing it so that we have a little more courage to give it a try. But anyway, that's a good one. Do you only have one, Scott?
He actually did. Yeah, I only have one, but he did say that you could scale whatever you wanted, and even if you wanted to skip one of the workouts, you're allowed to do that. So I don't want to make it sound like it's too bad, but
yeah, it's brutal. $1,000 to get your ass kicked, basically.
I could come up with 5 or so, but I'm going to just come up with one. And the best thing on the internet is I'm back on TikTok.
Oh, good. Yay.
And I forgot how much joy TikTok brings to my day. So I'm back. And my favorite thing from TikTok is there is this guy who dresses up like Michael Myers from Halloween. Have you seen it? And his
yes.
Will like drive up to a field and she's like, Evan, get in the car. You're scaring little kids on the way to school, because he's just standing there in the costume in the field and nothing's happening. And then so other ones, it's clearly staged, but it, and then they'll be like, he's riding his bike and she's like, is this where we've come? You're trailing a skeleton baby in our bike carriage. What are you doing? Get home. So number one, I'm back on TikTok, and Michael Myers is cracking me up.
So that means we can do our challenge now, right?
I guess.
Or our our punishment.
Let's get TikToking.
We'll have to plan that. People can tell us too. Let us know in the comments if there's something interesting that Amy and I can do as a what are we calling it? The punishment for losing?
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Scott says yes. That's what we're doing. Okay, guys. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this week. Scott, you want to take us home?
Well, we want to do a big shout out to RX Smart Gear for sponsoring the episode. Don't forget Clydesdale 15 at checkout. Get you 15% off everything in the store except for new arrivals or new releases and special editions. With that, we'll see you next time on, like, comment, tell your friends, subscribe, do all that stuff. It really does help the show a ton when you do that. And we love the comments. We promise to interact back with you. I had a long debate this week on YouTube with Andrew Sten about is Ricky Garrard good for the sport? And so love the debate, love to talk, love to have the discussion. Keep them coming, and we'll see you next time on the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends.
Bye.
See ya.